First learned about this 7 years ago. On a mission in Brazil to capture a wanted fugitive. When we got there, it tore through our unit in seconds. The target had superhuman abilities.
Hi, I'm Adam Burt from Play, and today I'm reviewing Mortal Kombat. There have already been 2 attempts to bring the Mortal Kombat experience to the big screen, starting in 1995.
It has begun!
You can't run from me, Shang!
I don't need to run.
The franchise has been a mainstay of gaming culture for decades, with an often convoluted plot about a fighting tournament that decides the fate of our world and several other realms. The campy storyline and extreme gore have served the games incredibly well over the years, and the first movie is considered by many to be a cult classic. There's always been a sense that this series had more to give and wasn't adequately reflected in the films.
I think it's an invitation.
Coming out of Warner Brothers and launching straight onto HBO Max in the US, the new Mortal Kombat movie tries to do right by the franchise and in many ways is successful. The film's protagonist is Cole Young, a character added purely for the film and not from the games. When he discovers that he has a dragon birthmark that qualifies him for the ancient tournament known as Mortal Kombat, he meets a cast of characters from the games. Almost the entire MK1 roster is here in some form, with one very obvious omission being Johnny Cage, who is clearly being saved for a sequel. We also get a couple of characters who were introduced in Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. The movie is obviously written by somebody who has considerable affection for the games, with references to the games peppered throughout, although in practice I found most of those bits to be distracting and too obvious. But it's nice to see that in the production they considered those little quirks and moments that make the game special and try to imbue the film with them too. And yes, Scorpion does do a get over here, which for fans of Mortal Kombat might be worth the price of admission alone.
Get over here!
As you'd expect, the gore that the franchise is famous for is given a significant amount of screen time too. This is one of the areas where the new film is a big step forward compared to the old ones, just in terms of being faithful to the source material and not watering it down to appeal to a wider PG-13 audience. In fact, the choreography and fight scenes in general are pretty good, with Sub-Zero being the real standout character. The general standard of acting is better in this film too, although it might be a stretch to describe any of it as good. And I think the fundamental issue with the film is that although I think it will be a success, and it has performed well so far in the States, it doesn't really have a lot of crossover appeal or do much for anyone who isn't already a big fan of the series. The acting's still mixed, the script is frequently clunky, but if you have nostalgia for the games or you're a fan of the current games, including Mortal Kombat 11, then you'll enjoy seeing some of those classic characters being brought to life on film. In particular, Sub-Zero and Scorpion get good treatment here, and Jax is given good material too. I was left wondering whether Jax should have been the film's main character, and if more of the film should have been centred around Scorpion's quest for revenge. All in all, this is a valiant effort, which has moments that will please and excite existing fans. Given the relatively low bar, it's also one of the best movie adaptations of a video game we've got so far. But as for whether it's a good movie, let's just say it's not quite a flawless victory.